Biur Hadvarim al Pasuk ונתתי Lecha מהלכים chulu. Explanation of the words on the verse, and I will give you travelers and so forth. And on the bottom it says that this is the same Biur as before, except with it's in a shorter version and with some changes. Hine short neshamos umebechinas ma. Now the source of the souls is from the concept of ma. Ki atem kroim adam begematria ma, because you are called Adam in the same numerical value as ma. So Adam is the root of Adam is ma. V'shorosh Malachim umebechinas ban, and the source of the angels is from the concept of ban, of Shem ban. Gematria behema, kamo shizbor, the common as will be explained later on. And therefore the angels are called the face of the lion and the face of the ox and so forth, which is the animal, which is gematria ban. And now these are the two concepts of thought and speech, that the angels are from the concept of speech, that from the spirit of his mouth is all their hosts, and that is from the letters of speech. That is from their coming out from the breath of the mouth outwards. And like our sages said, that there's no speech and speech that came out of the mouth of the Holy One, blessed be He, so to speak, that did not create from it one angel. So each and every speech created an angel. So the Malachim come from the concept of Dibur. That came out of the mouth and so forth. Because there's two concepts in the letters of speech. The first is the strength of letters in the soul. That the soul itself is full of letters. That the letters themselves are not created from the 5 parts of the mouth. That Aleph, Ches, Hey, Ayin come from the throat, and Bez, Vav, Mem, Pei come from the lips and so forth. Like it is with the musical instruments, that the sound comes directly from the instrument. And like it's brought in another place, David, like it's brought in Tanya, but the source of the letters are from the soul itself, and they have a higher source than just the part of the mouth that makes the sound. It's only that they're coming outwards. Out of the mouth is through the vessel of the mouth that can make the sounds. And the revelation outwards is in order that others should hear the sound. Which is not the case when the letters are in their source, and they're in a state of hiddenness. They're hidden. Dibur, but nonetheless, the main concept of speech, that the person is called a speaker, is because of the source of the letters in the soul, not the letters as they come out. That's why we call a person a medaber, that he can speak all the things. That is the concept of the strength of speech. And these are not like physical letters when you actually speak them, but 22 spiritual letters in the soul, and these are the source of the 22 letters as they come out into the mouth. And that is when they're drawn out of the 5 parts of the mouth. And enclosed in the breath of the mouth. That's when you have the letters as they come out and are felt in speech and so forth. And so to and so to allegorically above, because even though it says that my thoughts are not like your thoughts, and his speech is not like our speech, that the person's speech doesn't leave a lasting mark, which is not the case. He said, and it was, and created it, because the speech above is divinity and so forth. But nonetheless, there's still 2 concepts within the letters of his speech may be blessed. Like allegorically in a person, that you have in a person the source of letters of speech that are within the soul itself. That's called the concept of the kingship, the mouth. And the strength of speech is called malchus, of kingship, because that the word of the king rules. That a kingship is only conducts itself through speech, and is the source of the life force of the creations. That the creations are created through the letters that are revealed and come outwards. With the 10 statements that the world was created with and so forth. And look what it says about this in Tanya as well. Therefore, the angels are called in the names of combinations of letters, Sidki, Mahari, Vishem Kel Besofan. That they have the letters of the main names like Tzidki and Mahari that have a Kel at the end. That these combinations of letters are the ones that they were created with. And in them is enclosed the source of the letters, which is the Shem Kel that's at the end. And this is the concept that Avraham said to his servant, the elder of his house, which is the angel Matat, which is the concept of the servant, whose name is like the name of his master, Gematria Shakai. Because Shem Kel also is the concept of Shem Hashem inside, which is the Malchus Mekora Osios, which is the Shorish of the Chayas of the Malachim. bin Nun Nar, and this is the concept that Yoshua, the son of Nun, was a young man, because you have the concept of Naraisi Gamzakanti, which is both the concept of Matat, that is called a Nar and a Zaken. So Eved Avraham is called a Zaken, and Yoshua is called a Nar. Ki pnei Moshe ki pnei Chama, upnei Yoshua ki pnei Levana, because the countenance of Moshe is like the countenance of the sun, and the countenance of Yoshua is like the countenance of the moon. Pnei Moshe zeranpein, upnei Yoshua Malchus. That the face of Moshe is Zah, and the face of Yoshua is Malchus. When it's enclosed in the Malach Matat during the days of the week and so forth. So it's this reflected light that you have this Shoresh and you have the hispashtus of the osios. And we know the matat and sandal are the kosher ksarim from Philoseim from the osios. So their concept of osios. Ayin b'pardis sharabia perek gimel v'akol v'inyan echad shem osios shemislabeshes behena malchus b'bia, and it's all one concept. That these are all the concept of letters that they're enclosed. The malchus is enclosed in them, in the worlds of Biur, Yitzir and Asiyah. Tzarich iyun im haperush osios eluhem od levush lebechinas osios hayotzim mipi HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So it needs looking into if these letters are in an additional garment to the letters that come out of the, so to speak, mouth of the Holy One Basabihi. Now, meaning the letters of that are mislabish through the concept of the malach, through the malachim. That is to say, what are these letters that come out from the mouth of the Holy One Basabihi? That these are the letters that are revealed from malchus, in order so that they should be enclosed in creations that are finite in measure, mahalach taf kuf shanachulu, of distance of 500 years and so forth. Is through their enclothement in the concept of matat, which is seemingly another concept of letters, the letters of the malachim. Like you have, for example, the written letters, which are more physical than the letters of speech. And they're a garment to the letters of speech, which are more ethereal. So the letters of the Malachim are like the written letters, whereas the letters from the mouth of Hashem are more like the speech. Perhaps. But the main mashal here, the main allegory is the letters of speech. Gam kain. Sometimes you have to enclose the speech through an allegory. So even in speaking, you can say it straight or you can say it in an allegory, which is like a garment. So it's found then that the letters of the allegory are garment to the letters of the intellect itself, as it's so. They can both you have these two concepts in speech as well that you can divide it into. So too, allegorically, you have this enclothement of malchus, of the peh of HaKadosh Baruch Hu into matat, which is the letters of the malachim, and so forth. Amnam yoser nira kan kipshuto, but however, it seems here it makes more sense to say this in its simply that both of these are the same concept of letters. The Ratzalom de Mukora Osios Zeu Bechinas Malchus Tatzilus. That is to say that the source of letters is the concept of Malchus of Atzilus. V'giloi ha'Osios Zeu Bechinas Yitzira Chulu. And the revelation of the letters is the concept of the world of Yitzira and so forth. Not to make these kind of distinctions, but to simply talk about the source of speech and actually speaking. And in this Paraktanya that we mentioned about the source of letters in the soul, there it explains that this is the concept of the breath and so forth. That comes out. And the concept of the external vessels of Malchus, of the world of Atzilus, as they come down into the lower worlds of Yitzir and Asiyah, you have them, these letters of Malchus as they come down, the Lamed Kelim of Atzilus, and so forth, that become the vessels of the 10 spheros of Yitzir and Asiyah. So there you have the concept of the shoresh of Malchus, of Atzilus, being the shoresh for the kelim of the Osios as they are in Atzilus in B'Yitzir and Asiyah. Because of al Pasuk Mayafu Pamayich Banalim Chulu, and look what's brought on the verse. How beautiful are your footsteps in their shoes, or your feet in their shoes. So the concept of Na'al is the concept of this garment on the Malchus. And so forth. And that's why this angel Matat is called the shoe of the Shechina, that just like the shoe is a garment to the foot, so too the letters are called feet. And that is that they make the head, conduct and bring the head somewhere. That is, in them and through them is drawn the concept of wisdom, to the letters that you speak or write or read and so forth. They conduct the wisdom. That's why they're called the feet, just like the feet bring the head and make the whole body move. And the shoe is a garment to these letters, which are called the foot and so forth. And it's much easier to walk with shoes on and outside and so forth. And this is the concept of the letters that the angels were created with, that they're from the concept of speech. But the souls, they're from the letters of thought. And also in thought, you have these two concepts. You have the external concept of the letters, that is when you already are thinking about them in your thought. That the thought is enclosed in the letters. Which is not the case with the inner concept of the letters. The machshav of thought, as they are in the soul itself, before you actually think these thoughts in your mind, as they are still rooted in the soul. Rather, it's the strength that is there to think and to contemplate, and to use your thoughts. It's the ability to have all the thoughts in the world. Which is the source for the revelation of letters in the soul. Of thought. It's the source for the letters of thought in the soul, as it is in the soul. And therefore you can think one intellect using one set of letters, and therefore you can change these letters and to enclose that same idea in different letters. And just like a garment is changed, like you change your garment. And how do you do that? By drawing down new letters from the source of letters in the soul. And so you can understand the allegory above. That these souls are drawn from the letters of thought, that are revealed, as they are revealed from the source of letters of thought, so to speak, above, from the hidden state, and the strength and the inner concept of letters of thought above are called the throne of honor, Shukes Aleph, which is made out of the covering of Aleph, that that in which are enclosed the essence of the emotional attributes. Shamidos Hein atzmius eser spheros, that these emotional attributes, so to speak, are the essence of the 10 spheros. Shebehein or Ein Sof Nikra, that with them the infinite light is called Valdmus Hakisei Kemari Adam, that on the likeness of the throne was the image of a man, an Adam. So you have the concept again of Ma. He's going back to he's hinting back to what he brought in the beginning, that Adam comes from Ma and Behema comes from Ban, the difference between the Neshamas and the Malachim. So the key say for the Adam is the Shorish of the Neshamas, the Shorish of the Machshava, that the Adam is the concept of Seichel in general. The Seichel of the world, Adam Datzilis, Adam Debriya. So again, the Chachma is conducted through the letters of thought, being the Machshava, being the Misharas Seichel, and so forth. Mash'en kina Machshava, which is not the case with thought. Afilu hakoach nekra levush hamidos. Even the ability to have machshava, the shorish of machshava is called a garment to the emotions. Kikoach osios ulefi hamidos, because the strength to have these letters is in accordance with the emotions that you have. Shemis ororos eitzel ha'adam, that are awakened by a person. V'chein birtzos uledaber motzi osios mipiv. So too, when a person wants to speak, they bring out the letters in their mouth. And through this concept, that's why the angels are sometimes silent and so forth, because it goes in accordance with the shoresh that comes out. And so too, all the drawing down of the thoughts, from the strength to the actual, from the potential to actual, it's only in accordance with the emotions, that a person only speaks about something they have a desire to and a will, or something that they're afraid of. The emotions have caused them to speak or think. And so too it is above that all the different divisions of the life force of the emotional attributes, all of them are enclosed in particular letters, in particular letters of thought, and from letters of thought into the letters of speech. The 10 statements that the world was created with. That the letters of fire and water are in accordance with the emotional attribute above, I guess, of chesed and gvura and so forth, which are the midos that are mislabish into the dibur of like the asar memoros. Vezeu in Mamer Zal, neshamos chakugos tachaskisia kavod. And this is like the saying of our sages, that the souls are engraved underneath the throne of honor. Shubechinas olam habriya, which is the concept of the world of bria olam hakisei. Yikach useder ha'olamos derech klal, because that's the order of the worlds in general. Bria Yitzir Asiya, Nikra Machshava Dibro Maisa, that the worlds of Bria Yitzir and Asiya correspond with thought, speech, and action. Vanashamos B'olam Bria, Vamalachim Yitzira, and the souls are in the world of Bria, and the angels are in the world of Yitzira. Ach derech prat, but in particular, prati pratius, in particular of particular, Yesh B'Yitzira Gamkin B'chinas Bria, that you also have a concept of Bria within the world of Yitzira, ובבריאה יש בחינת יצירה חולו, and in the world of Bria you also have the concept of the world of Yitzira. So you have ולכן נקרא בריאה בשם חושך, and that's why the world of Bria is called darkness. שבבחינת מחשבה, because it corresponds with this idea of thought, שאינה מושגת לזולתו, that's not grasped by somebody else because it's inside you. It's not a revelation outwards. Ma she'en kin yitzira yotzer or, which is not the case with Yitzira. It's the formation of light. Bechinas dibur iskalus lezulaso, a concept of speech, which is a revelation to someone else outwards. Just like you can see light and it's not dark. Vain be pardes sharabia, and look in pardes about the worlds of the four worlds of Tzil Spirit Yonasia, Minyan Akise, concerning the throne, Shulam Mailam Olam Malachim, which is higher than the world of the angels. Lechin Va'achayos Shehim Malachim Nosim Es Hakise, therefore the animal angels, which are the Malachim that lift the throne, they lift the throne, Va'akise Noses Nosav, and the throne lifts the ones that lift it. And that's the concept of bina, understanding, is established on the throne of the Olam Bria. That the thought comes from the concept of bina, and is a garment to the concept of Atzilus. That Atzilus is like the concept of Chachma, of wisdom in general. That in wisdom is enclosed the infinite light. And so Bina are the letters that come from the Chachma, which is like the Machshava, that comes from expresses the Chachma. So from Atzilus to the Tzkisei in the Olam Bria. V'zeu case Aleph, and that's the concept of the Kisei, which is the covering of Aleph of the Ohr Sof, a place for the Ohr Sof to be mislabish and so forth, or covering. V'zeu d'neshamas Yisrael chakukos tachas kisei hakavod, and this is that the souls of Israel are engraved underneath the throne of honor. Mamer levush t'kinas lon d'minayu parchin nishmasin chulu, and like the statement that you've made garments for them, for the spheros, that from them come out the souls and so forth, v'nikra chakukos, and they're called engraved, ki ishtale bechinos, because there's four concepts, reshim, chakika, chatzivasiya, engraving and digging, and a reshima is a marking, and engraving and digging and doing. Like it's brought in parties over there in Sharabia. And the concept of engraving is like the concept of the throne. Look over there. And look in Eitz Chaim that there it says that the throne is not the world of Bria. Rather, it's the concept of Bina as it's enclosed in the world of Bria. Look over there. Like we're saying here, it's the shorish of the machshava as it comes outwards. So it's actually the Bina of Atzilus as it's enclosed in Bria. Look over there. And therefore, in the name Yisrael, you also have Shem Kel at the end, just like in the angels. That you have this name in every malach, like in Michal and Gabriel. So too you have in Yisrael, because you have the letters of thought as they come out, and you have which is Yisra, and you have the Shem Kel at the end, which is the shorish of the letters of Machshava above, like the concept of Bina, that's mislabish in Bria, or the concept of the Kelim of Malchus Vatzilos as they have a shorish above. V'hinei lechein יש גם כן שם kel בסוף כמו במלאכים, so therefore you also have this concept of the name kel at the end, just like in angels, right? שיש שם זה בכל מלאך כמו מיכל גבריאל חולו, והעניין and the concept is כמבוא למעלה, like it's explained above, שם העצם שלו מורה על איכוס מהוסו, because its main name, the combination of letters, define the quality of its essence, be'eza midahu nimshach, mein liesh, in which attribute it's created from nothing to something, ki ha'osi osim lefi amidos kanal, because the letters come out in accordance with the emotions, like we said before, binyanei shumayim chulu, with the concept of fire and water and so forth, ve'gavriel shoshu mebechinas ha'gvura v'zeu gaver, and Gavriel is rooted in the strictness, and therefore he's called Gaver or Gibor from Gvura. Yofi Sara Torah, and Yofi is the combination of letters for the minister of Torah, the ministering angel of Torah, Shur Shomit Tiferes, who's rooted in the attribute of Tiferes, which is the concept of beauty, and so forth. Michael, Shur Shomit Chesed, and the Malach Michal is rooted in the attribute of kindness, v'nimshach mitevas mikel kamocha chulu, and comes from the words, comes out from the words, who is a kel like you, and so forth. Mikel kamocha chulu. Which is actually Unosiavon Varal Pesha. So it's actually that Pasuk is Yudim Midos Rachmi. It's interesting that Michal comes out of the Midos of Micha, which are the higher Midos. V'chein kol malach lefi ofen amshachas osios hadibur, and so too each malach according to the drawing out of the letters of speech, me'ezem midah, from which attribute kach yikrat tziruf shmo, so too will be called the combination of his name, va'alef lamed shebesof shmo, and the alef and lamed at the end of his name, shu nihiru de chochma, which is the light of wisdom, ilah, nihiru de chochma ilah, ta nihir alai hu tadir, this light of the supernal wisdom that shines upon him constantly, that you have made them all with wisdom, meaning to say all these malachim and all of creation, you can see the shoresh of chachma in all of them, especially with this idea of the shem kel at the end. Without this supernal light, lo hayak and without this supernal light, hayak lo haya, would be as if it wasn't there. And like it's written above, that in speech you have two concepts. The first is the revelation of speech, that came out of the mouth, and the second is the source of the speech. That's the combination of the letters and the shem kel, these two concepts. So this revelation of the speech is the concept of the letters of the essential name of the angel, that from it it's created in its particular attribute, the aleph lamed shebesofo, and the aleph lamed at the end, that's the source of speech, shuhu hameir al giloy hadibur, that shines to the revealed speech. And the source of speech is called Aleph Lamed, v'kamoshekos b'zohar Bereishis, taf yutes umad aleph, v'mikdash melech sham b'peirush hakel hagadol chulu, like it's brought over there in Zohar, and explained by the Mikdash Melech, and explaining the verse, the great kel, shaham malchus nikra kel, that the attribute of malchus is called kel. V'gam ki aleph lamed lashon aleph chochma, and also because the two words aleph and lamed are both mean to teach. One is the language of I will teach you wisdom. Alefcha, Aleph means I will teach you wisdom. Shu nihiru de chachmasa, which is the light of wisdom. Ki bechachma yasad aretz, because with wisdom is founded the earth. Abba Yisad Barta, the father founds the daughter. Malchus is founded from chachma. Shemikor hadibur nimshach min bechinas chachma, that the source of speech comes from chachma. So that's Aleph. Ulechin bechinas zuhu bechol malachim b'shaveh. And therefore, this idea is in all the angels equally. They have this shorish and chachma that founds malchus, that the malachim come from the letters of speech that correspond with malchus. Ukamokim pirish v'inyan Yisrael, and similar, and so too you have the concept, an explanation of the name Yisrael al shem ki sarisachulu. They were called because we ruled over angels and people and so forth. Nimtza shema etzim shalahu sar. So its the main essential name of Yisrael is the minister. V'kamoshikasu be'er chafaru asarim. Shema avos kulo, like it says, the well that was dug by the ministers, by the rulers, which are the avos and so forth. So the avos they're called the rulers, the sarim, and so Yisrael was called the sar with a kel at the end. V'shem aleph lamed b'sofo, when you have this name of aleph lamed at the end, kamo b'malachim, just like in angels. Ki neshamos atzman nimshuchu megilui osius hamachshava, because the souls themselves are drawn from the revelation of letters of thought. V'shem aleph lamed hainu mikor osius hamachshava, and the name aleph lamed is the source of the letters of thought. Shemeir behem, that shines in them, al derech hanal b'malachim chulu, just like we said by the angels, and so forth. Nimtza, so it's found. Yisrael hu gam ken bechinas malach, that Yisrael is also the concept of an angel. Shu kli hashpos neshamas Yisrael, which is the vessel for the flow to the souls of the souls of Israel. Me'orin sof baruch hu, from the infinite light may be blessed. V'nikra b'shem sar al kol hamalachim, and it's called the concept of the minister of all the angels. He's the sar of all the malachim, ruler of the angels and over them, like Yaakov fought and won the malach. Because they're from the malachim are from the external, like the letters of speech. Aval Yisrael mebechinas pnimis, but Yisrael is from the inner concept. Tipa mimoach ha'av, the drop from the brain of the father. Ashpos hamoch, in the flow of the brains. Shugavoa mikol ashpos chulu, which is higher than all the other flows. Vayud Yisrael mora al tmidi sapa'ula, and the yud of the name Yisrael, because the main name is Sar, like we said. So what's the yud in front? It's the constancy of this flow, of this act. That you have this constantly flows, the supernal brains, the supernal mochin shel midosa vizbarich, of the attributes may be blessed l'soch neshamas Yisrael, inside of the souls of Israel, into the divine thought. And the angel that carries this flow of intellect is called Yisrael. And this is what it says in Siddur Hari, that the angel and the mazel of Adam was already awakened to the tkiyos of the shofar and the prayers. So he calls it there. So it's called an angel there. He says the malach and mazel of Adam. You have the malach of Adam. So if you didn't, so now you can understand that expression there. And look, what's brought in Medrash Rabbah, Vayikra, that the prophets are called angels. Bayad Malachi. Vayin Bepardis, Shrekov Dalazov Pektas Vav, Al Pizay Yuvan Masha Malach Nikra Lapamim, because of Bishim Hashem. And with this you can understand how the angels are sometimes called in the name of Hashem. They're called Hashem. Vainu Lefishiyeh, Shem Kel B'chol Malachul, because you have this Shoresh. You have the Shem Kel in each angel. V'Malach Ushliachul, and the Malach is only a messenger from this Shoresh and so forth. Ein Igar Sakodesh Siman. And it doesn't say the Siman. And on the bottom it says, Ulai Kavana, the Siman Kafeh, the Hashkachan, that we find, Shafilu Malach Nivra, that even a created angel, Nikra B'Shem, Hashem, is called in the name of Hashem. Ubekuntur Sachrun, Kufnut Esalef. Anyway, Ubesof, Hagers HaKodesh, Bekuntur Sachrun Chulu, is there as well. Ubezegish, Lomar, Mashakos, Mikamocha Bekelim, and with this we can say, what is this that it says? Who is like you in Kelim? You have this concept of Kel, Perush, Bechol HaMalachim, that is in all of the angels, Shbekol Echad Yeshim Aleph Lamed, and each one has this name, Aleph Lamed, Besofo, at the end, Hamirbo, that shines in it, that, but you, who is like you amongst them, amongst all these Kelim. It says in front of me, in front of me wasn't created a kel, meaning to say that he's the shorish of all the concepts of kel. And this is what it says, who is like you in Kelim Hashem. Maybe there's a connection here to Chanukah as well, with the concept of Maccabee. Now that's what the Kohanim said to draw by the Egel and also by the Chashmonaim, to gather them together. Ki b'shem havaya ksiv kel havaya v'yar lanu chulu, because it says by shem havaya, it uses the shem kel, it says kel havaya, and he shines to us and so forth. And so the concept of kel havaya is this higher level of kel, I guess, v'hu b'chinas kel elyon, and that's the concept of the supernal kel, the higher concept of kel, shu b'chinas keseh, which is the concept of the crown, shemeir b'shem havaya, that shines into the name of havaya. Like the concept that Havaya is a kel of knowledges. So there's also, you have a concept of Havaya being defined by the concept of kel. The kel being equated with Havaya, I guess also higher than the lower kels, the lower concepts. And look what's brought about the concept of the redeeming angel in Zohar Balak. That it's a higher concept of Malach as well. And what about the fact that the kel is also the language of strength? What's that idea in Mashakazav al Pasuk Vatayigdal not Koach? Look at what's brought on the verse, and now you'll greaten the strength of Koach Adnai by the test midus of Moshe. So you have a concept of Mikel Kamocha being the midos of Micha, and Yigdal not Koach Adnai by the midos of Moshe as well. So there's also a concept of Ohr Hatorah Bereishis, which might be connected. So there you have also a concept of speech. So in the concept of the midos there, of the midos rachamim, we say koach, which is hinting to the concept of this kel. Like we said, there's this kel elyon. Or parshas miketz b'dibur hamaschil ki ataneri. It says, Atanedi Havaya, you are my candleish Havaya. like what's brought in the concept in the Mamer about how Israel is holy and so forth.